Today I'm going to present the results from two pieces of research that have come out of this project already, which is ongoing and will produce more. And then finally, we'll touch upon some of the policy implications that come out of this. The first question is the one that everybody's worried about. You can think of it as, what can we expect from the fourth industrial revolution? A simpler way of putting it is, are we all going to be unemployed because machines are going to take our jobs? This is a question that many researchers have grappled with, and you might be familiar in particular with a piece of research that has come out of the University of Oxford, where two researchers have produced a figure of 47% of American jobs at risk of disappearing due to automation in the next 15 to 20 years. A very, very large number. What we've done as the first part of our work has been to build on their work, on that piece of analysis, and we have been asking, what happens if instead of looking at jobs as a whole, and this is an analysis that is based on the judgment that experts in technology and experts in automation have regarding occupations as a whole, you look at the specific tasks that workers have to do within occupation. So imagine breaking down an occupation into the very details of what a worker has to do day to day. Well, what do we find? That once you look at the specific tasks, you realize that even in jobs that look very automatable, there are still some parts of the job that are very human in nature. They still require creativity, they still require human interaction that is not easily automatable, and therefore the job probably isn't as automatable as we think. And when we do this exercise, by looking at the specifics of tasks using a survey called PIACC that has already been mentioned today, that essentially asks workers what are the details of their job, we find that the picture is a little bit less catastrophic than people have been worrying about. Actually, we find that it's about 10% the number of jobs that may be at risk of automation in the next decade or so. And you can see that Greece is a little bit above the average, possibly because there has been less automation in Greece already, but it's not a huge number either. It's in the order of 13%. Personally, though, I will continue from this question, adding that it's not necessarily, to me at least, the most important question to be asked. First of all, because it's a very partial question. It's only asking what are the jobs that exist today that are going to be destroyed, but it does not ask what are the jobs that are going to be created, because technology will create completely new industries that we don't know about. And if we look at history, we find that actually the net change in the number of jobs over time, as many technologies have kicked in since the first industrial revolution, has been positive. The employment rate has generally been going up, and there's no sign so far of it going down. Why do I think there is a more interesting question to be asked? Well, because even if workers are not going to be entirely substituted by machine, even if this number is only about 10%, there is a much larger number of workers, these blue bars, who are going to see their jobs change very dramatically. What do I mean? I mean that by means of introducing new technologies, these jobs will change very much despite the workers keeping them. So workers might not become unemployed, but in their day-to-day, they will have to deal with new technologies a lot more in what is going to be their job. What is the implication of this? Well, that has been discussed throughout the day, there is a very large proportion of jobs, this number is about 25% on average, the blue bars, that are going to require continuous learning, adaptability of skills, lifelong learning, upscaling of workers' competencies, and so on. Very quickly, what are the skills that are most at risk? Well, they're the most mechanical ones. The ones that involve, at the bottom of this list, simple exchange of information, buying and selling, things that can be done by computers these days, whereas the skills that are more going to be on demand even in the future are the ones that require more human aspects: creativity, human interaction, interpersonal skills.